Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious. Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend.
Right, we are here. We are live with another wonderful episode of Elevated Wisdom. I am getting ready to go live on TikTok, so give us a second. Let me see here. We're gonna boom here. How I hope everybody's doing well. If you guys, well, let me before I start this, save here, and all right, and let me see. Yes, we are live on the TikTok as well. So, welcome into another wonderful episode of Elevated Wisdom, where we have healthy conversations and give our perspectives and experiences in a healthy manner, demonstrating healthy communication skills. My name is Intoxicated DJ, and this is Ahmad Germain, and we are Elevated Wisdom. How you doing, Ahmad?
Good, good. Yourself?
Uh, Wonderful, wonderful. I'm so happy that we continue to grow as people. The homies Nipping Hammers in the chat on the green side. I appreciate you, fam. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm very thankful to not only have this space but this time to share together here and these platforms. We are now live pretty much everywhere on the green, the blue, the the red, the purple, and now fully operational here on the TikTok side. So welcome in everybody. Today's topic is another deep one, as always. The value of time and what does that mean? I want to start out by reminding that everyone that this is our perspective, our opinions, um, and you are welcome to share yours. If any of the chats you find yourself in any of these chats, if you have a question, a comment, feel free to type it in there. We highly encourage the viewership engagement to get this conversation elevated. And so the value of time, and that is a very broad statement or question. Uh, it can be. What I want to start talking about, Ahmad, for you is now that we are in our 40s, right? We have spent a significant amount
Mhm.
of time on this earth. How different do you value time in today's perspective versus how you've valued time before in the past?
Good question.
Mm.
And honestly, I it's for me, I really don't see time as an obstacle.
Okay. What do you mean
Um,
by that?
we're here. Well, again, my belief is prior to coming down, you choose
Mm.
uh, every aspect of your life, what you're going to go through, who you're going to meet, what you like, who's going to partake in it.
Mm.
Um, and therefore, if it's already mapped, it shall be. So
Mm.
whether it's 20 years, whether it's 140 years, the sole purpose of doing it is so you experience and learn the lesson that you need.
Mm.
So even if you're 5 years old, you may still learn that lesson that it may take 140 years. It's all dependent on what path and choice you chose to take.
Mm,
Um, and so for me, it's now just having the belief in myself and taking those necessary actions to continue to take the right steps in better understanding myself and understanding people, time, things. Those aren't the obstacle and never were. It's always been me.
mm,
So uh, for me, again, it's just valuing each day and trying not to focus on a past that no longer exists or a future that's not really gonna exist either.
mm. Hey, baby angel, welcome in. Um, I appreciate that.
Those are my opinion.
Yeah, no, no, most
You know,
definitely. I really do appreciate that. It was deeper. You went a lot deeper, I think, than I thought. You know, and that's a great
yeah.
lesson. To stop at expectations make a fool out of all of us. And so, but I'm very happy to that you have shared that. Uh, so I guess, and maybe oh, sorry about that. I guess I'll answer it, right, and see, maybe you can get another perspective of what I was trying to ask. For me, before, at a younger age, time, I didn't put a lot of value to things. I wanted things fast. I wanted to do stuff, right? Like, days came and went. I really didn't have a true understanding of how valuable my time is, right? Whether that's spending it in contemplation, meditation, partying, with family, whatever that may be. How valuable time is, uh, it truly is, to be able to experience things in life or not. And so now I'm like, now that I am more aware of my mortality, I'm like, I need to take the most advantage out of my time to get the most healthiest of experience. I don't go out there to waste my time at the club because I don't get that type of fulfillment. Now I value my time more to be out drunk and not remember half a night or the full night type of thing. So the value did increase as my age went overall, and how much attention I paid to how much time I actually spent doing certain things. Um, I a lot of people that I speak to, I feel like we want to get to the end a lot. We want to learn what the lesson, and we want to, we don't want to feel. We want to bypass the experience to just get the understanding or just get the lesson. Like, just tell me what I'm supposed to learn, right?
Well, we want the reward, right? Everybody
Hmm.
wants to. I'm on the diet, but they don't want to do the necessary steps for the diet. They just want to look
Yes.
skinny or ripped, or. And you got to understand there, for every process, there is a place of where you will suffer.
Mm.
And the reason you suffer is because you're not willing to let go of a version of yourself that you want to change.
Mm.
We create the suffering within ourselves by not letting go of things that we know no longer serve.
Mm.
But because we don't want to be inconvenient, we'll make up excuses to not suffer, where in reality, embrace the suffering because that's where the growth will happen. And that's where the confidence will happen. And that's where the limited beliefs will get shattered. And now you'll see as you step into your full power, your awareness of yourself, what you are truly capable of.
Mm.
And that's just the tip, of realizing when you are focused and have the intention to do something.
Mm.
No, and I kind of get what you're saying as far as the timing thing. I do now would prefer to spend my time with people or doing things that bring me peace, joy, or happiness.
Mm.
In my 20s, I would spend time with people and be in places just not to be left out, where in reality, being there and putting who I really was to the side just to fit in left me more empty and frustrated than if I would have just been left out.
Yeah. No,
So
and I
I do
appreciate that.
understand that aspect. Yeah. So I
Mm.
definitely see what you're saying. And then I also, now looking back too, like we have so many phases in our life of awareness, right? As a
Mm-hmm.
child, to an adolescent, to a young adult,
Mm.
to, once you have kids, or now you have a career, like all these different phases. And it's like, I saw it in a book or a magazine, but they said basically you don't truly start to live until you're 40 or after 40.
Mm.
And for me, I would have to agree because at that point, I didn't really take the time to know who I was, what I liked, what I wanted to do, or
Mm-hmm.
what I was willing to put up with and what I needed to do to change.
Mm.
I was numbing and running so fast and trying to escape myself that I never took that time until I was in my, about 40, 41 is when I realized, damn, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I like. I don't know what my hobbies are. I don't know what I want to do.
Mm.
Truthfully, I don't know if I want to be here
Mm.
because I don't feel like I relate. I don't feel like anybody understands.
Mm.
And I'm tired of suffering. But most of that suffering was I did it to myself by not accepting myself or situations for what they were.
Yeah.
And I did hang on to some bitterness and some anger and some resentment to situations, people that in reality didn't I didn't need to do that.
Mm.
I created that environment all because I just didn't want to be honest with myself and accept where I was at. And I didn't want to suffer or go through suffering to change to be in a place that I knew I could be.
Mm.
So
That is powerful, and I have to agree, man, that about the statement of you know 40 years and really starting to
yeah,
live, and the similarity there for me with what you were sharing, right, is when you said, "Is this what do I want to do? Who I want to be?" There's these questions, in my opinion, arose because for the majority of my since I can remember the earliest memories, everyone and everything around me, I felt, demanded me to be something I did not want to be, right? And I went to school. I didn't fit in of wanting to be doing this and standing up in line and doing that. Like it was not me. And but I had to conform. If not, I was a horrible kid. I had I had all sorts of labels got placed on me if I didn't conform. And then finally, out of 40 years of age, after spending so many time and I can have my own quote unquote stuff, I was able to sit back and be like, all this is bullshit. I don't want none of this. This is not me. And now I have the option to choose. And it's like a light that hits. Like, yeah, I have an option to choose. And I don't want to be none of that. I don't want to be just another follower. I want to be a creator. I want to, and it that process is very tough. Very tough. And that's again, and that's why in my opinion time is the most valuable asset we have. That is just the amount of things like we were talking about the other night about, or yeah, the last episode where we were saying, is sleep important? Do you need to sleep all the time, 8 hours a day, or those days that you sleep less? But what are we doing with that time? If we're not sleeping, are we being productive? Are we doing something positive? Are we helping? What is the use? So through time, as the powerful creators that we are, we're truly capable of much through that medium of time. And so that's why I believe it's the most valuable thing. Now, I do enjoy the fact of how you see it, not differently, but I like your perspective on how time isn't a thing because we are energy and we return to the source. And if there's something that we want to learn again or experience, we can come back and decide how much time we want to have, right? We can decide like, yeah, I want to go and experience to have a full 100 years life because last time I only did up to 25 type thing, if I'm hearing you correctly.
But also, like you said, depending on where you're at in your own evolution, you might be, you know, you might reincarnate to a more advanced
Mm.
civilization that lives for 2,000 years.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
there's, it, it's non-linear. There's the possibilities are infinite to what could or couldn't happen. I think we just need to enjoy the experience of just being us because this is the one time that we're going to do it in this moment.
Yeah.
And as I look at everything else, we have such a complex to and the need to validate our own existence to say, I'm this. We're never just satisfied with I'm existing and I have all the things, necessities that I need honestly fulfilled.
Mm.
But I have to be a business owner. Not only do I have to be a business owner, I have to be a successful business owner, a multi-millionaire. That all those things and levels are things that we're telling ourselves we need to get.
Mm-hmm.
Where in reality, just us being and existing is the greatest achievement that you could honestly be doing. Being
Mm.
authentically you, standing up for what you believe, and just doing what it is for you to understand and better yourself. And therefore, you're still serving, but in a different manner. Because, example, you're showing people, not necessarily telling them.
Mm.
And that's something I'm starting to realize the impact we have on people. We're thinking it has to be great and we're doing all these things, but sometimes it's telling somebody no. Sometimes it's telling somebody they do need to hit the gym. Sometimes it's telling somebody they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And they may not like you at the time, they may not agree with you, but when they sit and have that moment, like we all have had somebody in our life do that for us,
Mm.
somebody that truly cares is going to pull you to the side and be honest.
Mm.
And that's when you're like, dang, I am going to change because I am better. But without that person showing you or holding you accountable, you may not have been aware that just existing in itself and the life that you're living right now is everything you've already asked for.
Mm.
It's just not exactly the way that you want it, but you're living it. And
Mm.
until you appreciate it and see that you're living it, you're not going to get the extra sprinkles. You're not appreciative. There's no gratitude. There's
Yeah.
no acceptance of where things are. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Uh-huh.
gimme. It's just like a kid in a candy store. Like,
Yeah.
you got $1. That's probably going to get you one candy bar. Why are
Mm.
we trying to pick up three different things? You just don't have enough at this point.
Yeah.
Just be happy with the one candy, savor the shit, and who knows? We might come tomorrow, you might have $2.
Mm.
Next year, you might be able to come in here with 10. But focus on just right now, like, oh, this is gonna be, I wanted this candy, I can't wait, and savor it. So for time, that's kind of where my thought process is. In the moments that we have, just savor the time.
Mm.
Because the time is gonna go, it's gonna come, everything's moving but us. The
Great point.
whole universe,
Yeah.
consciousness itself is the constant movement.
Yeah. I have a follow up question, which kind of goes into at this point, and he somewhat answered already, but at this point now, right? How would you or do you value your time that is shared amongst other human beings, other people, right? How do you like, hey, Ahmad, I need help, and I'm gonna need you to come by and help me with this. How do you value your time? How do you put a value to your time and your efforts into participating with other people, whether that's helping, teaching, or whatever it is that they need?
And that's a good question. Obviously, if it's been something we discussed and it's already pre-planned and set up,
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely gonna be available. Um, if we've set it up and this is now your third time being like, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna be ready, I'm not really gonna invest any time because you showed me that, clearly you don't mind wasting your time, therefore means you definitely don't care about my time.
Yeah.
So there's no more of me participating in it. I just now no longer have any expectations that that's gonna get done.
Mm.
So it's just kind of case by case situation, what I have going on. And then there's times where I'll put down what I may have planned because I know that moment or time that I need to spend is more important than what I'm doing at that particular moment.
Mm. The reason I asked that is I remember somebody doing a video online and they were going around interviewing people. And the question is, like, what would you do for, how much would be enough money for you? Then some people be like $10 million, $5 million to be like, okay, if I'm willing to give you this right now, that your ultimate amount of money, and give it to you right now. But the caveat is you cannot wake up tomorrow. So you have whatever time you have from here till tomorrow to get all this money and spend it and live it up, right? And most people are like, nah, I don't want it. Like, when it comes down to that level, we truly value our time, our life here more than whatever digit you can point at us. But slowly, when we spread it out, we will work to the last breath. We will, give ourselves to our last breath to family or our jobs or whatever it may be, and we never truly live. And so that duality of, nah, I wouldn't take any amount of money if I can't wake up tomorrow, but then live a long life not doing what you want to do or what you wish to do, or, live the dream life that you've always wanted to live because of responsibility or, blah, 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 whatever is you fill in the blank. Um, and it's a valuable concept to think about now for me because is a it's a more common question than not, right? We are all chasing the bag. We are all out here busting our butts, whether they're streaming, whatever profession you find yourself in. We sometimes lose family members over chasing the bag. We lose this, we lose that. And we, rather than valuing our time, we value these notes, this paper, this idea of currency to be able to experience life, and how long it has taken for us to be programmed that way, right? Now for you, um, that you value your time different, you capitalize on your time in variety of mediums, whether that's you being creative, whether that's business, that's family. You utilized, you utilize currently every second to the best of your ability to better yourself, and therefore is bettering the life, or I don't know if that word bettering, but anyways, the life of the people around you at the same time get better also. And it is truly great to see, because I get to implement that in my life as well. And when I lack, I get to see and experience you, and it's a great reminder. Be like, all right, I may have slacked off, whatever, whatever, but we got to keep going. Every day is a new start. Every second is another chance to choose happiness, choose healthy, and you're a great example of that.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you said choose because in the seeds of the soul, that's basically what he kind of broke down. I think it's Chuck Higgin,
Mm.
Hill, what I can't remember his last name. It starts with A, but he that's what he said. He said basically from the moment you
How
get
you
here,
doing,
you
Connie
have two
Cryptic?
things:
Appreciate you being here, fam.
choices to make,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not gonna make it out of here alive.
Mm.
Those are two facts. Nothing you can avoid. You can't change it. You can't. There's nothing you can do.
We cannot take this suit
And
with us.
yeah, but that's what people have to realize. The suit, that's a prop of the play. And what you decided to learn or what you requested to learn is all part of the play. And your arch enemy, your best friend, your a strained brother, all these people are close that agreed to play these roles to
Mm.
assist you on your own evolution.
Mm.
And we all are images of each other. Everybody you meet is basically a reflection of you and the shit you need to work on.
Mm.
We just never see it that way. But it's all vibrational. So if I'm, you know, kind of low on confidence and then I see or meet somebody that's high on confidence, first thing I'm going to do is point out what I don't like about them. But in reality, what I don't like is
Why the
because
motherfucker
they're
so happy?
demonstrating something I don't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel you.
So, and those are things too. We got to start being grateful for the people that do teach us these lessons, whether it's a good one, whether it's a hard one, and not have a negative, positive lesson. It's just a process
Mm.
for your own evolution, your own growth. It's all process. Because if you can learn in something positive, you can learn in something negative. So why do we have to continue to say good or bad? Why couldn't we say it was just a lesson I needed to learn?
Mm. So with that, kind of going back to what you said earlier about having friends to tell us like, "Hey, that's bad," or maybe you shouldn't do that. Do
Hmm.
you how where is the difference there, right? Because if there's no wrong or bad, and we should all have the right to experience whatever it is that we want to experience, why should we come in as friends and be like, "Hey, don't do that"?
Because they're going to see it through their own perception or perspective.
Mm.
And you want to see things not through your perception, but through someone else's perspective because they're seeing the bigger picture. Perception is like narrow vision, right? I can't see left or right. I can only see straight.
Mm-hmm.
Perspective is where now I have 360-degree ability to look, have empathy, compassion, understanding. Doesn't mean I need to agree. It doesn't mean I need to get the pom poms out and
Mm.
I don't have to do all that, but at least I can hear that person and see where they're coming from to better understand why they said what they're saying toward me.
Mm.
At the end of the day, it's up to me to say they're right or I concur or I don't agree.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, I can't get upset for that person. If I value the person, I should value what they're saying. If I
Yeah.
respect the person, I should respect what they're saying.
Mm.
Most people don't speak just to speak, right? They're
Yeah.
gonna say something because they feel it at that point is it's of some importance that needs to be said, but just because I'm saying I don't believe good, bad, or indifferent doesn't mean that person that will not still have a different perspective on what good and bad is.
Mm.
And again, if it is someone close to me and we do have that respect, then I know again they agreed to help me with my own evolution. So if I know I'm here to be better, every challenge, every obstacle, every question, and every opportunity is all pointing for me to grow in some form or fashion.
Mm.
It's just, am I mature enough? Am I aware enough?
Mature.
Do I have enough confidence? And am I accepting or surrendering to allow my growth to actually happen?
Mm. You said per- perspective versus what was the other word that you said?
Perception.
Perception. Perception. I like that. So I did really did enjoy that, right? Because what I got out of that is um, if I am looking at an elephant and I'm standing right behind the elephant at a close range, I can't tell. I can only tell how wide it is from my perspective, from my perception and perspective. I only understand what's happening in front of me. So I can see, oh yeah, it's a big elephant, but I would never imagine how long the elephant is from where I'm standing. And that's why perspectives from other points of view is important to calculate what it is that I'm experiencing. Because I only have the perspective or perception of where I am currently standing at. And
Yeah.
that is very powerful in the sense of, why is it important to listen to those people that we share connections with, the people that truly are working a healing life and being positive and have that healing and I guess journey in their own life, because we learn by not only getting told what to do but actually see it in action, leading by example, in other words. How you doing, Lyric? Welcome in, my friend. um so no, I really did enjoy that, and I'm writing it down so I can do little posts about that later. um the mm, in today's perspective, that from you, if somebody is coming in, GBB, how you doing, friend? Thanks for being here, brother. If you had somebody that came up to you and be like, hey, I I'm at a place in my life where my health isn't the best and I want to experience, but I'm afraid. How do you practice courage to jump off that more metaphorical ledge that we speak about, right? That to let go, in other words.
There's two ways, right?
Mm.
One, um, kind of what we went back to is you decided to be in bad health for a reason. You figure out why, and then obviously, if you decide it that way, you can decide to change it. So if you know it's the play, don't take it so serious and just take the steps to change it.
Mm,
What's the worst case, right? The
mm,
other thing is looking at things practically. What am I afraid of with getting better health? And that would be maybe getting a sheet of paper out and writing all the pros and then writing your cons to what it would be to get to better health.
mm.
And again, worst case scenario, if I don't get better health, I'm going to be in the same boat I am right now. And where I'm at right now is at rock bottom
Mm,
because we both know until you hit rock bottom, you're going to still hang on to that ledge because it ain't that bad yet.
mm,
It's not till it's dire and you can't no longer take it where you're willing to let go because it can't be you can't get any worse than where I'm at.
mm,
And those are things that when someone's coming to ask you, it's the challenging thing because at the end of the day, I can't answer that question. Only they can. And they are the only ones that can determine whether they're ready to let and embrace the suffering that's going to come.
mm,
And if that is the case, you just have to know to get something, you have to give up something.
ooh, okay.
And now what that is, you're going to have to figure that out. And that's where that honest truth for yourself. Because again, the health being in bad health, no doctor can fix it. You are the only one that can fix it.
Mm,
You got here because of the decisions. Sometimes you got here because somebody else made decisions for you as far as your eating habit. But regardless, you're here now. And there's so many people out there that can show you ways to change it. There's so many people that can show you workouts to change it. But at the end of the day, there's only one person that can change it.
mm-hmm,
And that has to be you, the person that's coming to ask for help. You got to be ready to receive that help
mm-hmm,
and understand that the help is going to only be support. The heavy lifting, the determination, the discipline, all falls on you because you're accountable for that. You want to
mm,
change, so be accountable. Be the change you want to see, but you have to be accountable of yourself, your own actions, your own thoughts, your reactions. That's all you.
mm. That's, and I think for me, that was the hardest part to accept the reality of my decisions, where they have led me, and understanding how and why people say I have to learn how to forgive myself to forgive other people. Because, like they also say, it takes two to tango for pretty much every experience, right? It really requires a level of influence from all involved in every experience. And so that means that everybody has a level of responsibility based on that experience. But at the end of the day, for me and my perception is that we are all in charge of our own perception. And what I mean by that is that even if people are being assholes around me, I have the choice to be agitated by it, to be bothered by it, or not even let it phase me. So I have the option to pick, and either one is okay. But like you said, Ahmad, that whatever choice I'm picking, I'm going to be giving something up. So if I choose to engage with that negativity, guess what I'm going to give up? my happiness, my peace, my tranquility, all those wonderful things that I was experiencing before that, if I choose to engage, that's what I'm sacrificing. And so understanding the ownership idea is really key for me to change this life experience, this human experience we call life. Um, and I appreciate you brought that up, man. I really like that. Another thing about time that I really wanted to touch on was how we in or during something don't perhaps value it as much time or as much as after time has gone by. For example, we spoke briefly before about this, our connection with our children and how at the beginning when they're babies, they are completely reliant on you. And it's like, ah man, I cannot wait until they're moving around and be able to do their own thing and do their own stuff because I'm tired of waking up every 2 hours and feeding this baby. Then they get to the toddlers, and it's like, man, I wished he was back when he couldn't talk and he couldn't tell me no, and and then that period ends, and then we look back, and it's like, man, it's over. Like that period is over. It's not. It's not overall period. The experience overall is not over, but that small section, that those types of experiences, they're transcending now, and that value that we put right now, they're more valuable because in our heads that's not going to happen again. I'm not gonna, never going to get that because now I'm going to have to cherish it. Now it becomes so oof, the best of best, and people hold on to like baby clothes and photos because now it's like you can't even fathom living without those memories. But while they're making the memories, we're not into them like that, right? And that value is interesting to me. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would say you spot on. We need to the value of the memory is at that present moment because that's only when it exists.
Hmm.
And now with you attaching yourself to that memory emotionally, now you're bringing suffering
Hmm.
because you're wanting something back that you'll never get,
Mm-hmm.
and you're focused on a time that's already happened at
Mm.
that present time. But there's so many more moments that happen. They're always in front of us. They're around the corner. They're right now. But again, we place significant on particular moments
Mm.
based off our belief systems and expectations and societal things that graduation would be one, right? We put
Mm.
such an importance on certain milestones for people, um,
Yeah.
where honestly them walking and feeding themselves is probably more valuable and important than them graduating.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But we
Mm-hmm.
don't. We put it on all these things. Oh, oh, now you're gonna go to college, and it's like, but just them riding that bike and them figuring out on their own,
Yeah.
like,
That is a interesting point that you made. Especially for things like that we we will celebrate them doing their homework, but we rarely celebrate them learning how to manage finance. Right? We celebrate these. We can celebrate a graduation, but we don't celebrate those accomplishments that quote unquote are mundane. Understanding how to do your laundry, how to cook for yourself, how to plant and actually
managing
take
their
care of
emotions.
emotions, man. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, how often do we take the time and say, wow, I really appreciate how you handle that emotionally, blah, and really have those type of conversations with our kids. 9 times out of 10, we either yelling at them or telling them how they're fucking, messing up, and then actually truly celebrating
Yeah.
these healthy habits about them. And it's not that we're just everybody out here just being mean. It's like I truly believe is the idea of we as parents believe we know best and we're trying to help, right? Oh, well, I'm doing this because this will help you in life, and without realizing we're putting boundaries already before they get to that. Danny, how you doing? Welcome in on the TikTok side. Appreciate you stopping by, my friend.
I would say too, where most of us, at least myself,
Mm,
I started realizing the things I was doing was projecting my own insecurities and things that happened throughout my life onto them, and they hadn't even
mm,
happened. They don't know it. They didn't,
mm,
why would I do those things? Or I wanted to be a professional athlete, and at the end of the day, the reason I didn't is because I wasn't willing to give up nothing. I didn't want to suffer. So now I'm gonna put that pressure on my kids because I wasn't willing to suffer. Now I have an expectation that they're gonna suffer and they're gonna make it. And it's like we can't. We all came here to experience and to better understand ourselves.
mm-hmm,
And honestly, the kids, in my opinion, are here to remind us on how to create, to remind us on how to dream, and to learn through them not to be afraid, not to take life so seriously, and to be amazed with the mundane stuff because kids are.
mm-hmm.
Get them a box. Half the time they enjoy a box more than the toy itself because the box with infinite possibilities.
Yeah.
It's a fort, a cave, it's a car, it's a spaceship. It could be anything. And as adults, as we go through school and we go through all these institutions, all that creativity and that belief and optimism is sucked away.
Gets placed in labels
And
and
now we're just
boxes
fit.
and
Yeah, we're just fit in a system to where you're no longer and now life is a drag instead
mm-hmm,
of amazing. Life
mm,
is mundane instead of spontaneous.
mm.
Life is depressing and frustrating instead of joy and happiness.
Believe in magic and you know.
Yeah, all those things, man. It's just amazing, and that's what kids are there for. And it's to
mm,
remind us how you got disciplined. And I had to think back too. And I was like, man, what my parents taught me to where that was over 30 years ago,
mm-hmm.
40 years ago, right? How does that apply to today? The environment, it's
It's
changed.
changed,
The
yeah.
market changed, right? And anything else we look at environment, we look at the market, we look at all these aspects, and we have to adapt. But when it comes to parenting and when it comes to our, there's no evaluation. This is what it is. This is
Mm-hmm.
what this is what I got shown, and this is what I'm gonna show you. Not questioning like, well, this isn't effective. Just like if all of us that have been in the military, you come to a section, they're gonna tell you this is what we do. But then when you open up the regulation, any format or SOP, half of what they're telling you to do isn't even in here. It's like five additional steps. That's bullshit.
mm-hmm.
Why am I doing this? And then you bring it to them, they're like, well, I question. Because nobody's took the time to ask the question of why are we doing this? It doesn't make sense,
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's the other aspect of kids too. They're going to ask those questions and they're so inquisitive. They want to understand, they want to know why.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we shut those whys down because it's annoying or we're preoccupied on what we need to do. We're slowly dimming their light and their because we're just stuck in our mundane bubble
Mm.
and not stepping out of it to embrace what they're doing, even if it's just 15 minutes or 30 minutes a day to support. Believe it or not, you're going to get more out of it than the child is going to.
Nah, I mean it's
You're like,
definitely
man, I can't have a good time. Man, I do have creativity. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's get on that spaceship. Fuck it, let's get on the, let's play this game.
yeah. I
So,
it's impressive to really look at it that way as far as kind of like the yin and yang, right? There's a opposite force to create something beautiful to make things go around. And so it in our life we are here to help put boundaries or understand boundaries upon kids, and kids are here to remind us how boundless life truly is. And on the concept that you were talking about, how we choose what we're going to experience before, that it's a great explanation on why we feel like we're boundless when we're young. Like there is nothing that can hold us back. We truly believe we can fly. We are superheroes. We believe in everything. Superman, the uh at Christmas, whatever it is. Like we really truly believe things in our capability, and like you said, we ask why not. Like you can't just tell me no, you're gonna have to give me evidence, proof why no. Like it has to make sense, because what I believe makes sense, and I believe anything is possible. And that has to come from somewhere. And now I personally believe it comes from that infinite source, that connection that we have to that only gets erased by experiencing the human experience, by having parents, by being in a society that tells you yes, do this, no, do that, wear this, don't wear that, say these things, don't say that. Those are the things that erases the connection to the source. At the same time, it is why we come here to experience, to learn, to really truly learn. And the way we learn is through intellectually, emotionally, and physically. And that's why that is for me the trifecta of life. If I take care of those three things, if I'm being aware of those three aspects of my human experience is pretty effing dope, man. I'm traveling the world. I'm out here writing books. You know what I'm saying? I got this going on. I got that going on. I'm peaceful. I infinite resources. Like I'm the man. And that's it. I'm the man in my reality, and that's all I need to be. I don't need to be more. I don't need to be less.
exactly.
Mm, heck
And
yeah.
that's where most of us are still at, trying to validate our own existence, where in
Mm,
reality, we are. We are the existence. We are the universe experiencing itself.
mm, I dig that.
And once you realize that, a lot of things kind of fall to the wayside, man. The pressures and the expectations and even boundaries to an extent. You know,
Mm,
if you're the universe and you're experiencing yourself, everything is always a yes.
mm-hmm.
There's no no.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie The Yes Man with Jim Carrey?
It's been a while. Like it's been a long, long time.
I really enjoyed that movie's concept. And is this guy is miserable, and he gets to this point in his life where he's like, oh my gosh, I'm have pushed everybody in my life away to the point where one day I'm gonna pass away and nobody's gonna know because nobody's gonna care for me or nobody's gonna wonder where I'm at because I pushed everybody away. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna change some things, and he gets convinced to go to a seminar where he's like, if you want things to change, you're gonna have to say yes. So the whole seminar is about yes, saying yes to everything. You get somebody, pops up, yes, 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 and is this crazy journey that he goes through because he's saying yes to everything. Some great, some bad. He gets stopped at by the FBI because they thought he was doing something. Like, it was just absolutely ridiculous of an experience, but it was an experience. And it turned his life from being this person being miserable by everything to truly appreciating everything, life, the small things, the big things. He fell in love, he fell out of love. He went hiking in the morning, took pictures, and like he did all these things that he would have in otherwise never even considered doing. And that is a great lesson for all of us who's struggling to just be, start saying yes.
Say yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Say yes to working out.
Take,
Say yes to eating
yeah,
healthy.
take a walk.
Yeah. Say
Yeah.
yes to hugging trees. Say yes to grounding. Don't sit on ant hills, but say yes to grounding.
Say, I mean, just say yes to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Say yes to acceptance, you know.
Heck yeah. No, I totally
There's
agree.
so many good things, man, that's
Mm.
going on. I just think a lot of times because it's not the way we expected it to be or the way we want it to be, we don't validate it.
Mm.
And that's where saying yes would kind of change that a little bit
Yeah.
because it's about the experience and the emotions that come with that experience.
Yep. It's
It isn't about the expectation. It isn't about how you want it. This isn't Burger King. Like it just doesn't work that way.
Yep.
That's but that's why we're continued to be put in situations to be
Hmm.
more open and willing to accepting and not be so rigid and have that expectation that it has to be my way. It has
Mm.
to look like this. For me, it was. Remember when we started doing a lot of stuff, it was like
Mm.
that next step. I couldn't take the next step until it was like it was almost what's that movie? Everything,
Lego Movie.
everything.
Yeah.
The Lego Movie, yeah, yeah. So I was almost like my life. It was the manual of how to build the Lego step by step. Like I just wasn't creative
Mm.
to be open to stuff. So I was too afraid for the next level if I didn't do it A, B, C. Now I'm ready for D.
Mm.
When in reality, I could have been A, D, and it could have worked. I may not need B and C.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I started realizing with myself. Like,
Mm.
where I felt I needed to know it and be comfortable and for that perfect moment. And in reality, there's no more perfect moment than right now.
Mm.
There's
Now,
no better moment than right now.
I truly believe you have made a significant change when it comes to that perfectionist ideas, right? Or behaviors. And so, how different do you feel now? Like, do you actually feel like a different person because, or do you still feel the same person who does different things now?
I, I would say there's just relief
Mm.
because the perfection is no longer limiting me. And I'm no longer like, and was it analysis through paralysis or paralysis through
Paralysis through
analysis?
analysis.
However,
Yeah. Yep.
that's where I would be a lot of times because it would have to be this way, have to feel a certain way. where I feel even better now because I'm just taking the steps. And as I take the steps, it's reassuring me that I am fully capable of doing all those things that I wasn't sure I could do, or what I wasn't willing to do because I didn't want to suffer through it. Well,
Mm.
now I'm letting all that shit go, and I feel better by taking the steps and not worrying about how it needs to look. I just let go. That's more important than anything, is letting go.
Mm. What?
So
So,
I don't
go ahead.
feel, well, I'm just saying, so that for me, the pressure is off of not being perfect, and I feel
Mm.
good about surrendering and letting go, not having to know what the outcome will look like or having it, the outcome to, I don't have that expectation that it has to be this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's why I don't. So I did appreciate what you said, especially because um the point is, right, we're not through the changes. It's not gonna be like a whole different me, but there's things that are gonna change when we make those changes in our lives. So for you, as you made your journey through the, with this perfectionist situation, now that you have made significant progress, the big difference, you still you're still dealing with your life with you. The difference is the amount of pressure that you used to place upon yourself, having everything perfect. Now you are replacing that pressure with such a release of knowing and accepting yourself in a different light. Am I hitting it there? Mm.
There's more of appreciation and self acceptance and love,
Mm.
and the limiting beliefs are going away. And that is the part of me that's changing, where I'm now well aware that I am capable and that the suffering that I continue to try to avoid is worse in my mind than it is in the actual physical world.
Mm. Say that again about that limiting beliefs are no longer. You said limiting.
So my limiting beliefs
Mm.
are I know now that my limiting beliefs are more painful, or the suffering is worse in my mind than it is
Mm.
in the
Feel
physical world.
that.
So I'm more concerned about how it's going to feel or what it's than what it actually is. So
Mm-hmm.
now, but that I'm just taking those steps and doing it, I don't care what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of myself for letting go.
Yes.
Until I let go, I'll never know what it's gonna look like or won't look like or how I will feel or won't feel. I have to let go first.
Mm.
And by repeatedly letting go, confidence grows, my own awareness within myself, and those beliefs fade away. Then now I can take the bigger step and wholeheartedly know and be honest with myself that I am capable. And now I just got to be honest. Do I really want to do this? Or is it not really that important? And now I make
Mm-hmm.
a choice not based off of a limiting belief. Is it worth my time?
Mm.
Is it something I truly want to do where I'll take 100% of my effort, time, and energy to invest in it, and not knowing how it's going to turn out, but knowing it will work out the way it's supposed to work out
Yeah.
because I'm authentically me.
Mm.
There's only one way it's going to work out in a positive way. I just need now to let go of how I think it's supposed to work out or how I want it to work out. Because the moment it's not looking or feeling a certain way, the old limited belief is going to creep back in and want me to take my hands off and be like, oh, I got to do something, I got to now try and control so I can right the ship. Where in reality, I got to let go even more now and just know that it's going to turn out the way it needs to turn out.
Hmm. I dig that, man. I always appreciate your point of view and the way you continue to express yourself verbally, and artistically. Your skills are improving as you continue to believe in yourself, and I love seeing that. It's really, it reminds me because although I may be practicing or have practiced art a little longer, I still feel very self-conscious sometimes about certain things and whatnot. And so seeing somebody really like, man, I made this, I'm proud of this, and me looking at him like, man, they really, it's their skills that's getting like, oh, that's me too. Like I'm getting there, and that energy just vibrates so much. So keep doing what you're doing. I wanted to really acknowledge everybody who came by the TikTok this evening. We had over 1.5K hearts. So thanks for everybody who tapped on the screen. Right, I
Good stuff.
definitely uh, continue to encourage you chatting, and if you are enjoying what you're hearing, even if it's just like, hey, I agree, please feel free. We highly encourage the chats, and perhaps if you have questions or comments, that's also welcome. So again, thank you for stopping by, everybody. Every Friday, we reserve this hour for healthy conversation, and we're welcoming more people to come in and have this. We have been looking and talking to other people to bring them on board and have more conversations. It takes a lot of courage to come out and stream and talk about these things in front of people we may not know, but it's very vulnerable period for people. And so for those that are willing to do this, I appreciate it. To those that are not ready yet for that, I understand. When you are ready, we will be here, and we welcome for you to come and express your journey and how that looked, so other people that share similarities can learn a little bit from your perspective, your experience, and together, my friends, we can. Um, Ahmad, thank you for being here. Anything else you want to close out on, or anything you wanted to mention?
No, you hit on the head. The only thing I would say for those that aren't ready, maybe here, have those conversations within yourself, right? And from there, as you continue, you'll find people uh, that you'll be able to have those conversations with, and then before you know it, you'll have your own tribe or group
Mm-hmm.
of supported people. Because in reality, we want to think we're all different and we're going through all these challenges, and no one understands it, and mine is so different. It's going to be different how you experience, how you see it, how you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're going through, we all are going through or have at some point of our life. Again, it's just how you experience it and see it is going to be different. But the challenge itself, we're all gonna go through the similar thing at some point in time.
Mm.
So um, that would be pretty much it. Just be honest with yourself.
Hell yeah.
But before we go, I'll take everybody out with the three L's:
Noise.
lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning.
Mm. I
So
appreciate you,
those are
brother.
the three L's we want to live by and do it. And happiness is a choice. So
That's it. That's it. Thank you for continuing to choose happiness, brother, and choosing to be here, share this hour with me, my friend. I will see you next Friday. I will see you guys next Friday for sure. Thanks for tuning in. And we are out of here. Have a great evening, everybody. Have a great and safe weekend.
Thank you for joining us and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning. Thank you for joining us and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning.